After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you
Launch.
want.
I had heard today that people were talking about how validators can push their transactions through cheaper, right? So if it's costing us 4 Gwei, they can push it through 2 Gwei. And yeah, so what's your thoughts on that?
I have to look at the designs and the docs to really figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think there may be a possibility that that's the case, but I don't think um, it's really gonna make that much difference, because if they indeed so like validators, what they could do front running of transactions, and usually it's done on when there's some buy order coming in, and so they can arb for 10%, 20%, 30%. It's not generally done uh, to save on gas. But this is something that I need to look into. So I'm gonna have to take that question into my notebook and then get back to you guys as far as what I have discovered.
Great, I appreciate it, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. We have Pork Hunt. Pork Hunt, go ahead.
How's it going there, Jack? Hey, I just wanted to ask a question. I was just looking at the holders list, and I did find one of the top holders. They have like 90 million Zen. But if you go into their transactions and you follow it back, it leads to another address, and they basically in the same block they were able to mint or claim. I actually sent you a DM, but you never checked it yet. They're able to claim mint rewards and share. They shared it to the same address multiple times within a single block. So possibly maybe there's a bit of an exploit here in regards to the system. But I sent you a transaction anyway if you wanted to check it
Okay.
out.
I will certainly take a look at it. It is not an invalid activity uh, to to claim mint and send it within the same block. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, well, they didn't. Oh, they did it like there's 121 pages of it.
Okay, I'll definitely take a look. It would be interesting to see exactly what's going on there. So I'll check the DM. I just got a million DMs this morning, so I'm going
Yeah,
through
yeah.
them.
Oh, good. I just wanted to let you know. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I will definitely check this out. Okay, yeah. I found your DM and I'm taking a screenshot of it. Okay, thanks. Okay, who else do we have? We have Donald wants to speak. Yeah, guys, go ahead and raise your hand to speak, please.
Jack,
Hey,
this is Donald. So, first of all, congratulations on creating a successful network effect worldwide, we hope, huh?
we hope. Yes.
So, I'm like everybody else here, I'm interested in what I can do to help the network. And so, I'd like to discuss ways that we can do that. Obviously, Zen all by itself will become a medium of exchange because you can send it cross border, across the world for a minor fee, especially when it eventually gets on the other networks that are lesser fees. So one thing we can do is start using it to pay each other, right? Another thing we can do is tell a friend and help the network grow. Another thing we can do is explain to people the 20% APY that they can get. And as I understand it, if you mint for less than 90 days and then claim it and then stake it, you'll get a 20% API. And if you do it a little later, you'll get 19% API. Is that how that works?
That's how it works.
Right,
Yes.
right. And I'm thinking that one thought that I can contribute to the effort is a story that I can tell about something that I did back in about 1980. I created my own script, my own currency, and convinced people to accept it, and ended up with a swap meet where they could buy and sell with it, a newspaper where they could advertise to buy and sell with it, a radio show where they could call in and talk about what they wanted to buy and sell with it. And it became extremely popular in a local area with millions of dollars worth of this script changing hands. The script was the shape of a dollar bill. Each one said 5, 10, 100, and so on. And why did people accept it from me when I printed it up out of thin air? Because I had assets that they could buy from me with it. I had a warehouse full of merchandise. I accepted it for advertising in the newspaper. We talked about it on the radio show. And there was a network effect that happened. And this is what's interesting as it can relate to Zen. The network effect is that the people that had it in their pocket, in other words, people that have Zen in their wallet, will be naturally inclined to go to their dentist and say, hey, I need my teeth fixed and I'd like to pay you with Zen. Let me explain. And the dentist accepts it. Now the network has expanded. And if somebody creates a website where you can show what you have for sale for Zen and what you want to buy with Zen, that would be useful for the system. What do you know? I've created a website like that where you can advertise for free that you have Zen and you want to buy this, that, or the other, or you need this, that, or the other, or you are willing to earn Zen by doing this, that, or the other, or selling this, that, or the other. And it's a free website. And I think that that might help. And if more people did that, even if you just put, I accept Zen in your Facebook marketplace ads, even if you put, I accept Zen in whatever classified site you like to use, in the body and the text of your description, you got a car for sale, I accept Zen. If we all do that as a network, the network effect can have another benefit. But with that in mind, maybe several of us need to start websites where people can advertise what they have and what they want, and that they're willing to accept Zen.
That is a great idea. Obviously, that is the goal. Ultimately, is that we do want people to use this cryptocurrency freely for anything they want and come up with ways to make it more interesting and to enhance it. We are on just day 2, and we have years and years and years to go with this. And I think this kind of like the initial level of excitement potentially will subside, but I'm very happy that people feel like they can get back into the origins of ethos of blockchain, specifically how originally Bitcoin was created, and in the Bitcoin white paper, Satoshi talked about having a peer-to-peer cash. Bitcoin did not become that, and I'm thinking this could possibly be an option, assuming the community is using it, minting it, is receptive to doing all kinds of things with it. And like one things that people could do is they could make the wallets and give the wallets themselves, the addresses, as gifts to people they know, and give them the password to it, or the private key or whatnot, and that could bring a person into crypto that otherwise would not have been.
Back in the 1980s, when I was doing the script program, nearly everyone who started accepting script for the first time never heard of me, met me. It was somebody who had the script in their pocket, and they went to the local bakery and said, hey, I need a birthday cake and I'm short on money. How about if I give you some of this script? They went to motels in other towns. They went to Disneyland and stayed at the Disneyland motel and walked in and told the manager, hey, I'm kind of low on money. You got a couple extra rooms tonight. I'll pay you with TCs, which is what we call them. And they showed them the newspaper that showed where they could spend them. And they told them about the radio show where they could call in and listen. So my point is that we, the members of the network, we, the holders of Zen, are the ones that are going to create the value.
That is exactly right. I firmly believe that what you said is the absolute truth. I always said that it is the community and the network that gives its value, no one else, not the exchanges. Exchanges are just the means of exchange. They have their own communities, but ultimately it is the individual holders that holding Zen together as the community is what will bring the value to this experiment.
So everybody that has the talent and the ability, make a classified site for Zen buying and selling.
Yeah. All right, cool. Thanks for the suggestion. Let's see if anybody else wants to say something.
I'll ask my question real quick. So basically,
And by the way, this is also an AMA, so feel free to ask me anything. I am pretty transparent about most things,
I'd like to highlight that
except how
point
much,
that
except
you
how many
made.
pull-ups I do. That's not gonna tell anything.
4. No.
Anybody, the number. Everything else is a go. So go ahead and raise your hand, and let's have a conversation.
Can you hear me, Jack?
I can hear you, GRC.
I don't know if Jack can hear me. I might have to jump out.
Jersey, I cannot hear you, so
Yeah,
you may
I'll
have
be
to
right back.
rejoin.
So my question was how long I know you've done a couple interviews, Jack, but how long have you been in the crypto world?
I've been in the crypto world since 2011.
Okay. And presumably is this your first project?
Not my first project.
Not your first crypto project?
No.
Okay. Could you expound on your earlier ones?
Nothing that got very interesting at all. Just mostly enterprise stuff. So business to business type of stuff. Nothing, nothing like business.
So not open source or anything?
Nope, nothing open source.
Okay, and so was your first interview like 2 or 3 months ago? Is that about right? With crypto in the crypto world per se.
No, I had other interviews before.
Okay. Well, the only reason why I asked that is because I did try to look you up, and I've been in the crypto for about 5, 6 years. I just never seen any like prior interviews or anything. But my question is, how come like you haven't gone on like Ivan on Tech or things outside of the Hex community? The issue is I uh, followed like Richard Hart before he even was talking about Hex and everything. So, but what I noticed was back then he a lot of people he was high signal at that point. So a lot of it was high signal. Now he kind of changed with the marketing and thing, but ultimately it's been an echo chamber. And what concerned me was post chain coming out and then coming out with all these other various coins. So now it kind of the concentrated liquidity or concentration of where the money was going.
Going to another level there, King. But yeah, like I kind of hear what you're saying. You're kind of just asking about Jack's background there.
Let him finish. Let him finish. He had his question was good.
Yeah. So I was just saying the issue is, like I said, it just seemed that when I watched Richard Hart in the beginning, nobody was giving him any attention. They would tease him on how he looked and everything, but he still gave out high signal quality. But he would go on different shows and talk to different shows. Now, the product is successful and everything, and he doesn't get that much attention. And just like before, he wasn't received well. He still isn't received well in the crypto world. So I was just wondering how are you planning on getting outside of the echo chamber? Because it really just only seems like it's only the Hex ecosystem, and that's why I was asking you those questions in the beginning, because it just seemed like it's mainly focused on the Hex people, and that's just a real close uh, society or group of people. And when you try to go out, and then sometimes they say, "Oh, you're associated with Richard Hart or whatever." Not saying that Zen is Richard Hart. Obviously, it's a different thing, but just the association. So I was wondering, how did you plan on like getting those interviews or getting more attention outside of the Hex community?
So to answer the first part of your question, I was approached by the Hexican community to do interviews with people who are popular streamers. Crypto Coffee was the first one to invite me. I wasn't even planning to speak about anything, actually. So, but I got a message from him, and he invited me to speak. And then once I got on his show, there were at least 5 more requests, and I'm like, well, what the hell? I'll talk to everybody about my position in life and what I think about crypto and all of the above. So that's how I got connected with the community.
So how did he find you? What did you do to how did he find that you were paying attention to Hex?
I found Pulse Chain first, and I was asking questions, and then I found Hex later, and I was just looking at charts and analyzing charts, and I had some questions about those charts. And I think I think his name is Matt. I think what he did, he looked me up, and he thought I was interesting, and so he invited me for a stream. And so he was the first one to stream with me. I have him on my jacklevin.com link tree, so you can look up that first interview with Crypto Coffee. And from then on, it just snowballed into just continuous conversations within the community. I mean, I didn't even know what the Hexagon community was until, he literally introduced me to it. So that's how that whole thing started. But now, to answer the second part of your question, given that we're number one token in the world right now, and given that we have burned so much Ethereum and made it deflationary, I think the digital marketing will do its own work. I don't need to go and look for interviews. And there's a lot of people who are trying to interview me right now, but I'm just head deep in the infrastructure, and I want to make sure everything works and everybody's get to use Zen the way it was designed to use, and there are no issues. So I'm kind of not doing too many interviews except for people that I really like. So I don't think there will be an echo chamber, because just today I watched somebody who had 500,000 YouTube subscribers, not at all related to Hexicans, Hexan community, just doing an overview on Zen and what to do. So it's already been happening, and people are noticing just by it's day 2 and we're number 1, and we're continuing to dominate. It's definitely turning heads, and we'll use it to our advantage to describe exactly what this project is about. And by the way, this code is in the wild. So code being in the wild means it's gone from our control. It's now controlled by you guys, by the community, by the world. It's open source. It's on blockchain. It belongs to everyone. It doesn't belong to my foundation. We just developed it. We came up with the game theory behind it and tried to make it good, and then just post it up on blockchain. And we are running the web app front end, but anybody can run a web app front end. I mean, we have seen it with Hex, obviously, and like Hedron. Go to Hedron website and you can start staking Hex right there. There is a website, zen.fyi. Somebody developed that actually works pretty good. It's an alternative front end for Zen. So yeah, hopefully I answered those questions.
Yeah, you pretty much did, but I guess somewhat. I was just saying. I know you say you're busy and everything, And I know you have it's a dedicated channel to YouTube. I forgot the guy's name, and he's pretty thorough. I think he's on here now, but I was just saying, I just think you're trying to build it out. Um, it I just think that it's a good project, but my concerning part is if you're on other chains, what is the advantage? Because as we see, these other chains, they don't move over because it would just mess up their copies. So just like the NFTs, it doesn't make sense because then it would dilute the value that they have, and some people might not even take that as the real coin. So, what would be the advantage of going on those other chains? Obviously, if it takes off, then it takes off. But what is the purpose of doing that and bridging instead of just being on Ethereum or whatever? Besides, obviously,
Okay.
adoption on those other chains.
Okay.
And then we'll
Okay.
get to the next question after that. Not saying it wasn't a good question. I just
Yeah,
lots
it
of
was a
people
good
hands
question.
up.
It was a good question, and I see what you're saying. So first of all, we never said that we're going to do any bridging. We don't plan to provide liquidity for bridging or make it work in any way. The alternative chains do have different dynamics. They have different fee structure. They have different gas. So it's likely when Zen goes out there, like for example on Binance, it's going to be completely different makeup of the economic influence on it. It will do nothing for Ethereum. You will not be able to send Zen from Binance into Ethereum and somehow exchange it for Ethereum. And it's a completely different token. Probably will have a completely different address as well. Now, what can happen is that, and the reason to do the alternative chains is to bring the first principles of crypto to the rest of the chains there. Some people are more comfortable on Binance. It's covering different part of the world. Like there's a lot of Asian population using Binance. There's a lot of games that are being launched on Binance. I think we want Zen to be a token of exchange for play to earn games. Yeah, and as Zen Su mentioned before, we're trying to be inclusive. We want to include all chains, as long as they're not a scammer chain. And I think it's just good for crypto overall if the message spreads. So we don't plan to be exclusive to a particular chain or even to build our own chain of any kind. So that's the ethos behind it. Okay, Jimrat, go with take over.
Well, just now there's a million questions, so mine can probably wait because it's not dire. First question, I would say Ray has been in here for a while. So Ray, if you want to.
Hi, Jack. Congratulations once again. I think you did an awesome job with it. One of the things that you don't mention very much is about what I see as the model of equitable distribution of the tokens, making everybody, giving everybody the chance to mint from day one, not doing any pre-mint or permitting any centralized accumulation of the tokens disproportionately. So I find that it's a very, very good selling point. However, I do see that there are bots running, and you can see that from the certain exchanges who are minting at a disproportionately high rate, orders of magnitudes higher than what an individual would be able to do. Do you find that to be a problem in terms of the centralization of the economic energy? And how do you see that going forward? Will that affect the distribution or more equal distribution and of the tokens for the average person? Thanks.
Yeah, that is a good question. I think it is unfortunate that some people don't know how to run bots, and some people do. Ethereum gas price is something that will stop most of the people to try to accumulate as much as they can. Because remember, this crypto is free. It has no value. Like I never said that there is a value anything beyond zero. So what people are doing, they're taking a risk on the future because they have to mint. Like let's say that you're minting with a bot 1,000 wallets. So you're gonna have to pay at least $10,000 if you're lucky. Likely it's gonna be 15,000. But then you have to exit the position, and you're gonna have to pay some gas as well. And what if on that day the gas is super high? Then you're gonna be hit with penalties. So I think uh, getting people or anybody who is investing with gas disproportionately high is running a higher risk, and ultimately potentially should be compensated by having more Zen at the end. And also at the same time, when the bot comes in, they benefit the network by increasing the rewards for the rest of the people who are minting Zen or been minting Zen before them. That's definitely helpful because the rewards get amplified due to the rank amplifier that we have. But I do clearly see what you're saying is that, and the goal for this is to be as widely distributed as possible. But because it's free for all, whoever has the most money will end up, well, or whoever is the most risk tolerant with their money will get the most Zen, and there isn't anything that anybody could do about it. Now, the world is large. We have 96% of people out there who we're trying to onboard into crypto. Whoever does 1,000 wallets, and they're gonna get millions of other wallets, millions minted on top of them, and will eventually be diluted. The inflation of this crypto is extremely high because anytime you go from 0 to 3 billion, well, the inflation is like, is in billions, right? That being the case, the risk for bots or people who pay a lot of gas is high. And so I'm hoping the better we do job at the marketing and the better virality we see, the less of a chance we're going to have highly concentrated wallets like we saw with Bitcoin.
Is it going to be interesting? Is it going to be something? Is it going to be something that you're going to monitor closely when it comes to the other chains with much lower gas fees as well, I suppose?
Well, absolutely. We're going to be monitoring anything. At this point, though, I mean, like, think about it. There's not much we can do. We released the code. The code is out there, and it's up to the human population to do what they will. We can't stop them. Even if we talk at them, they're not going to listen to us. I mean, they will do what they will do. So it's just the question of where the chips will fall, so to speak. I think because it's such a low barrier to entry, there's positive and negative. The positive is that 96% of people who hasn't touched crypto will be able to get into crypto. The negative is that somebody who is shadowy supercoder will be able to automate their process to mint a lot of Zen. But remember, for everyone out there, including bots or people who have bots, the price of gas is an equalizer. It will cost them money. At the same time, it will also cost them their time because you need to specify the number of days until you get your Zen. And so those things are impossible to change, and nobody is gaining any advantage. So, I mean, if you don't know how to write bots or anything, you can ask a friend to do it for you. You can go to some third world country and have a bunch of people hired to mint Zen for you at the fraction of the cost. You'll pay them a little bit, but the gas will remain the gas. You will end up paying gas regardless. So.
Got you. Thank you.
Yep.
Simple, you had your hand up next.
Hey, Jack. I just had a question about the Fair Crypto Foundation. I'm definitely kind of on board just with those values and what you guys are about. I just kind of wanted to ask, what's the trajectory of that, and like what type of foundations or partnerships are you looking to kind of team up with, and what's like the initiative behind that besides besides the Zen coin, which I mean is amazing in and of itself?
So good question. Resistance, trustless consensus, all of those things that we understand and we love. So those projects that actively participate in those tenets and following our ethos, we will be promoting. So anybody who wants to build something interesting will be speaking and pushing those people forward. So that is the plan, is just to make it better for everybody.
And I guess for me personally, I learned about that through Hex and just through Richard Hart. And I guess like what are the parameters that are going to be like in place for like accepting people into the like the Fair Crypto Foundation? You know, just when it comes to projects, I know obviously you're getting like a bunch of people,
Sure,
you know,
sure.
coming in and what. Just what are those parameters and what's
Okay.
Yeah.
So the parameters will be is that you cannot be deemed as a security by the SEC. You shouldn't pre-mine or pre-mint or have a very, very minimal allocation, possibly with the vesting schedule. You shouldn't have admin keys unless it's absolutely necessary, and you have your code open sourced. So assuming those things are followed, then we will be speaking on their behalf and we'll try to make them popular.
And just to kind of off the riff, like how many projects do you think in the crypto space right now that you're aware of are kind of following those other than Zen Crypto right now?
I know only one that's kind of approaching what we're trying to do. It's Ergo Chain, but even them, they had investors. They had a pretty large allocation, I think 20% or something like that. So that is the only one that caught my eye. Everybody else wants to, get rich quick, run those type of schemes. And that's what Not Crypto was designed to be. And we want to make a difference. We want people to be successful, make the money, just not by confusing people that they're going to have incredible gains and then just dump on their head with their allocation, or them being forced by their investors to do it.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that's incredible, and I'd love to be able to help in any way I can with the foundation. I DM'd you. Obviously, you're getting a bunch of DMs and stuff like that, but I definitely use my energy to push that forward and kind of educate people on, what those principles are. I think it's pretty amazing because I think it's just true. It's coming from the core. So.
Okay, awesome. I will take 2 more questions and then I have to go have dinner actually. So, Jimrat,
Gandalf. Well, okay. I was going to ask the question that I just know there's a bunch of people in here that probably didn't hear you in the beginning, so it might be reiterating something. But, I've been in the Hex community for a while, since about day 500-ish. And, you said something on the Telegram space. I watched it on my stream live. It was not controversial to me whatsoever. It was kind of just like your point. But can you just explain your point that you had when you were talking?
Thank you.
A little bit easier so that a lot of people in here can understand what your point was exactly, because really they just all take it as an attack.
Is that about the OA burn?
Right, like you were mentioning that you would say if the OA had less supply, then generally some investors would probably think about it different. I thought that was your point, but what was your point when you were saying that?
So my point was that Hex is sitting on a coin market cap way deep. It's not getting the attention it deserves. And a lot of people are calling Richard a scammer because someone, maybe Richard, maybe not, holds 90% supply, which is potentially has a detrimental effect on the economic control of the project. Like specifically, crypto was designed to be decentralized, but in this particular case, somebody who is critical of Hex could say it's not really true crypto because it has centralized control. And even without Richard's wanting to to be so, somebody could put a gun to his head and take away his keys, or somehow convince him that his keys should be given to someone else, and then destroy the project. That does not make Richard a scammer, but it makes the project have more risk than there should be. So that was my point. And again, I respect Richard. I loved his earlier streams. I listened to hours and hours of him talk. I think he brought a lot of education to the community, and he did a lot of good. And my response was, I'm like, I was joking with him even before on PulseCon. I said, hey, Richard, you should blow up your Lambo. It's going to be really, really awesome. So it's kind of like similar. If Richard could say, hey, yes, OEA belongs to me, and here's what I'm planning to do to decentralize my ownership, then I think Hex would be more decentralized economically. So what I'm saying is that it's not enough to have a mutable contract that you cannot change. If you can control it economically, then that's just another key that you have your hands on, and sometimes you can accidentally lose the key, or somebody will force to give it up. And so that was my answer. My answer was like, hey, one of the ways to figure this out is just to burn it. And I think if he has access and control to it, and if he burns it, then Hex is going to go 100x, and it's going to be great for everybody. But I do obviously understand that the way that the code is written, the total supply, including the OA, controls how much yield Hex is generating. But guess what? Regardless of the yield, if Hex goes 100x,
price appreciation in general, but staking generally can protect you from selling. A lot of the time, I agreed with everything that you said for the most, when you were saying it, but I think people are just emotional because it's a time in the bear market where, people, it is getting short for a lot of people. Like, I can only imagine. I mean, I'm a young guy. I don't have much overhead, but I can only imagine if I did, that this would be a stressful time for everyone. And I think everyone just wants, at the end of the day, they just want to be informed. And there's always going to be lots of talk about stuff. But I think that the way that you feel about, Richard has been clear. And that's why you made your project the way that you did, because that's the way that you liked it.
Yeah, and I would say that in many ways, so this project is young, right? This project is only 6 weeks old. In many ways, I have been inspired by Richard to embed a few things in Zen. And Richard does talk about first principles of crypto a lot. He just doesn't call them that. And so I am totally aligned with his principles. So.
And I think this is going to be really beneficial for all of us moving forward in DeFi, whether people are upset or not. So it's going to be cool. And I think you have one question left, Jack, in the tank.
I can take a few more actually. I have like 7 minutes. 7 minutes to go.
Pulsar G is up next. Pulsargeist.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going, Jack?
Hey, Pulsargeist. Nice name.
Oh, thank you. Jack, I just had some questions for you about your game theory and about the minting phase. Seems like a lot of people, like someone can create multiple wallets and mint Zen, but where do you see the buy pressure coming from off the market?
The buy pressure will come from the size of the community. So regardless how many wallets you can create, we're attracting a lot of people out there. Just by looking at Google Analytics, we had 150,000 people come in just a couple of days. That's a lot of people for a project like that. And so if you just forget about the wallets and forget about the numbers and forget about the billions of Zen that will be created, the value is in the community. And as someone mentioned before in this conversation, buying Zen instantly versus waiting a year to generate it actually has value, because you're advancing. It's like you're buying the future. you're buying somebody's 365 days of work. If we talk about a year, so the value is like right there. The other way to look at the value is that, let's assume for a second, then within a couple of years we're going to have 100 million users. It is possible. I've done it before with imagechak.com. I had 60 million users right there. So 100 million in crypto is doable. If that happens, Zen will be accepted everywhere as a peer-to-peer cash and as a token of exchange. That has value too.
And there's a staking feature which provides a different functionality.
That's right. Hey, Gandalf, go ahead with your question.
Hello, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And just one question, quick question. Is an open source, so it can be deployed on any blockchain?
Well, not any blockchain that runs EVM or Solidity language.
Okay, so EVM. Okay, just to know. Thank you very much.
Okay, Vincent, go ahead. Paul S, go ahead.
No. Hey, I'm here.
Let Vincent go.
Go
ahead,
Vincent.
Go
ahead, Vincent. Wait, yeah. I was just watching the fucking game, man. I'm sorry. I didn't know I was going to get called on because you were asking for new people. Look, first, Jack, I do realize.
No problem. How's it going?
Yeah, no, good. I was glad to get in the first question, and a lot of people weren't in here, and it was about the staking, and I think that's the long-term utility, of course. Delayed gratification again, but listen, and I'm proud of you and everything that's going on, and they want to knock the fact that the Hex community is behind you, and it's only about Hex, but look, they're one of the biggest communities in crypto, so nobody can really knock it unless they're not part of it, right? The other thing is that I would like to ask, and this is just to give some props to you, Jack. Earlier, someone mentioned how they were questioning you not having a crypto project besides this one. When did you start in actual crypto, Jack?
2011. I started in 2011.
Crypto as a whole started, right? Bitcoin in general. So everybody made their money on Bitcoin. Go ahead.
Bitcoin in general, yeah. I mean, you should be able to find me on bitcointalk.org.
I just want to educate everybody else in the room. I already know this question, right? So this is rhetorical.
Okay. So what is the reason for that question? I'm a little confused.
It's to back you up a little bit, Jack. It's to back you up a little bit because there are going to be haters, right? There are going to be haters just because it's successful, right? It's just it's successful. It's 2 days of success, and look. There's flooding going on already in this space, and I don't like it a whole lot. Look, it's an early project, and you've done nothing but success for it. But
yeah,
people are questioning your ability to be in crypto. It sounds like, and you were one of the first people, right? You were one of the first people to even back it, and the first people to mend it. You know, so they don't even know what that means. And some people, and don't go into detail, but I do feel like you need to be stood up for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
This is my part.
Thank you. But listen, even if I started crypto 3 months ago, what does it matter, right? It doesn't matter because the code is out. I don't control it, and I don't have any Zen, so it doesn't matter at all. Like how long I've been in crypto, but I've been in crypto since 2011. It just makes it a little bit easier for me to understand how to market this thing and what am I getting into. But other than that, if it was someone else who just got into a crypto and had technical background and launched something by accident, it doesn't make any difference whether the project is going to be successful or not, because right now it's in the community's hands, and that's it. I mean, you guys are the ones who are going to make it a success or not. There's nothing I can do. I can just keep.
But a lot of these people are looking for someone that is a reliable source, and all I was trying to point out is that you're as reliable as anybody as far as an intelligent person that got in early, right?
Well,
that
thank
knows
you.
what crypto is. you know,
Thank you.
that has been there early. Yes. But the
Thank you.
other, the other thing that I would like to point out, was this ever designed for people to make money early?
No, it was not designed for people to make money early.
Thank you very much. That is going to cure a lot of questions for a lot of people and where they were all headed in this space. A lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people are trying to get in something early and make a lot of money fast. And that's not what it's designed for, ever. And I don't think it was ever designed that way. And there was misconfusion. My family is getting crazy because Devontae Adams just scored a big touchdown.
Nice.
Anyway, this is all I wanted to say, man. I've been in crypto since about 2014 myself, and I know what it's about too. And the whole your point of view on all of it and what you're trying to do, and the Richard Hart thing that you're saying. Hey, that would be great if he did do that. Nobody knows what the OA is, and if he get it, and there's a lot of different ways to burn it and make and help everybody else. But look, everybody has been secure and felt secure for this long, and I don't want to talk about Hex right now because we're talking about Zen. And I think what you've done is amazing, and it's new to crypto. And anything that's new and inventive to crypto at this point in the game, even though everybody talks about it being early, at this point in the game, man, this is amazing. So congratulations, Jack. Really.
Thank you. That means a lot, actually. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Okay, guys, I got a jet.
Jack, quick question, Jack.
Okay, last question.
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, I'm super excited for what you're doing here, and a huge Richard Hart fan and fan of yours. So you have mentioned the economic, the financial economic mass that's unstoppable when people use their money freely in this world. And I really see Richard Hart or the OA as not a bug but a feature because of the capacity for whales to impact markets. Can you speak a little bit about that? Because you're super smart. You're smarter than I am. And, I just want to hear the nuance there as far as I hear the negative side of the OA from your standpoint. But I wonder if you could share a little bit about the positive side, that the benevolence for owning the project rather than other whales that get their economic mass into a project.
Well, the benefit of having a large allocation, if there is any benefit, is it will detract other people to accumulate a lot of cryptocurrency, just because if they accumulate a lot, but it's nowhere near enough to what the owner has, then they will not feel secure. So that removes the whale's desire to make, to buy a lot of that coin. It will not be such of an issue for a regular investor who gets in with $1,000, maybe $10,000. But it detracts the bigger players out there. It's a positive, just if you want to keep community small, but it's a negative if you want it to grow virally and have everybody equal, like, so to speak. The other thing that I believe is that if you just own that one cryptocurrency, the only thing you can do with it is sell. You cannot buy more of it just because you have more cryptocurrency. So to keep the price stable, you must have billions of dollars of stable coin, billions of dollars of the same currency you're trying to protect, and you become the largest market maker. So you can technically manipulate the price like that. But if you hold 90% of anything, the only thing you can do is keep the price down, because the only thing you can do is sell it. You cannot keep the price higher. I mean, but ultimately it comes down to price manipulation. You guys know what the golden rule is? The golden rule is that whoever has the gold makes the rules. And there is positivity there if you love the system and you want that system to work for you. And sometimes it works. But ultimately, crypto meant to be completely decentralized, both from the code perspective and economic perspective. That is what I believe, but people have the freedom to do whatever they want. So by all means, I'm not the one to tell people what to do with their designs.
My man, Funding Jim in the house. You want to squeeze in a question before you go?
All right, fine. Go ahead, Funding Jim.
Yeah, just making sure that this is recorded. I just now caught this as Levin was saying he was going to finish the space. Is this recorded or not?
Unfortunately, it's not recorded, but we're just talking crap all day anyway. So, I'm just kidding.
So I hate you repeating what you probably have dealt with over the past couple of hours. But my question is, when you're again, the issue is about whether the OA is net positive, net negative, and I feel like, on just survey, the bot action and the concentration through people that can have 5,000 wallets. This is a net positive for Ethereum holders or validators, or people that generate bots. And I'm not trying to fudge your project, but when you say something like it's terrible that the OA holds 90% of the coin, and that's net negative for people that are speculating, investing, unless they're a small person or they're not putting millions of dollars into the project, I have to disagree. And I disagree because it is, to me, an OA function, whether it's daughter addresses from a parent that funds millions of Ethereum addresses, and it's mostly bots. I'm sure that there are a lot of people participating that are actual human beings, but it's incentivizing to say, let me send some Ethereum to hundreds of wallets, possibly thousands, and you have a distribution of Ethereum that has a cost to do so. You have transaction costs to distribute. You have, now it's inside of a wallet that you can mint. Then you have a third function that burns or utilizes Ethereum in order to actually have coins in your wallet. And then you have a fourth function, which is to trade it in Uniswap, whether you're going to hold long-term or you're going to ever exit for profit. So I don't agree with the statement that the OA is net negative, because as many middlemen as possible has been removed from the Hex system by design. And I don't think that that's the same case with Zen. You may have already covered this over the past couple of hours, but that's a disagreement I have about this narrative that the OA is net negative. I do not see on Chainalysis OA wallets or daughter wallets selling Hex. I can't say that about bots yet because it hasn't happened, but there's an incentive to do so. So can you speak to that point?
Sure, really quick. So I never said it was terrible. I just said that if I had an opinion of how to design the crypto project, that wouldn't be my choice. I also said that I respect people's choices to do whatever they want. And I also said that anytime there is criticism towards Richard, that point is always brought up. And that is unfortunate. So that's what I mean.
As far as the bots front running, they definitely answered the front end of the question. But as far as the bots front running, can you speak to some of the potential limitations that there are on US dollar and how much a person could really do ethically? I'm telling you, I'm all about this project. I did it day one 8 times. I ain't doing it again because I'm lazy. But I want to just, because I think one of the parts of the question is how beneficial is it to permamint versus if you got in early in the big picture, percentage wise, how much of a percent could someone get if they did a high estimate spam rather than somebody that did a good first day 5 minutes or something like that?
Cool. Yeah, it's too early to know what's going to happen with the bots. I can't wait to find out. So we'll see.
Alrighty.
Lately I've been losing my direction. I know, 'cause I've been trapped inside this heart of mine. Oh, of mine.
You stay in Wonderland, and I show you how